You have tuned in to The Thinking Class with Lawrence D. Adams. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? This is Lawrence D. Adams. I'm live today on the last day of the year. Shout out to everybody that's here in the chat room. We're going to talk about some things today. I hope you are ready for 2025. I am excited, elated, overwhelmed, overjoyed at what's going to take place in 2025. But let me say this, because I'm going to say it again a couple times in here. You know, I am so against New Year's resolutions because people make New Year's resolutions and don't come 30 days later, they don't keep it. They go to the gym. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat right. And then we catch them in February. They're doing the same thing they were doing in December. So New Year's resolutions only work for those who set their true, pure intentions. And this is what they want to do. But 2025 is about a year of a transformation, but it's really up to you what you're going to do in 2025. If anything, you should realize that 2025 is about you getting your power back. You step into who you are. You being the best version of who you are. But if you're in the chat room, if you're live listening to me now, it's the best time to listen to me and get some of this good game, good talking points to get you ready for 2025. So are you looking for me to talk about, resolutions and what you should do and what you shouldn't do? I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to talk about it because that's not what this show is going to be about today. But I am going to say, peace, what's going on? Peace, good to see you. Good to see you. Peace and blessings. Happy New Year to you. Thank you. Peace into you. But yeah, for this year coming to 2025, let me practice something I learned just today that I got to start doing, slowing down because my thoughts be flying off and I got to slow down so you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. But 2025 is going to be the year that you decide is going to be. Let me say that again. 2025 is only the year that you decide is going to be. It really doesn't change. Even though we're going from 2024 to 25, it's really up to you. As they would say in the rap song, the world is yours. What are you going to do, or what do you really want to see change in your life? Where do you need to go from hero to zero in 2025? Where do you need to have transformation in 2025? And this is something that I have to look at, something I need to accomplish next year. And I realized one of the things that was stopping me from moving forward was my own fears and the story that I was telling myself to myself. So I had a story that I've been playing out for years inside of my mind that I didn't tell anyone, that I just verbalized just a few minutes ago, or about several hours ago, is that I had a story of a fear and inadequacies that I had that I would not be able to accomplish something in 2025. But once I decided that I was going to change the story, it changes it changes my actions. So what story have you been playing in your mind in 2024 that you need to change for 2025? What story are you playing in your mind? Where are you believing something about yourself that you know is holding you back? There's a lot of things that we have inside of us that we never verbalize, that we never share, limitations that we have, things that people have told us that are not true about us. So, one of the things I'm going to do today, I'm going to take my journal out and I'm going to write those things down and really look at them. Sometimes the best thing you can do is look at the fear and the limitation that you may have in your life and say, whether is this true about me or is it a lie? Let me say that again. Some of the best thing you can do for from going from hero to zero and transformation is to really look at the story that you've been telling yourself or others been telling about yourself. Is it the truth or is it a lie? And many times we to look at the limitations, the beliefs, the limited beliefs, the lie, the things that are going in our lives, we realize they were just stories that were lies about us and not the truth. Now, let me say this again. They might be a fact right now, but it's not your truth. There may be a fact of where it is right now, but you need to change the story around you. What story do you need to tell about yourself in 2025? Now, when I mean story, because we know back in the day, you couldn't say lie and story and all, like they were lie and story were synonymous. But what I'm saying is, what story do you have around yourself that you need to change? Because really, I said this last week, the real thing is you are the creator of the movie of your life. You are the main character. You are the props. You are the supporting actors. You are every person playing every part in your movie. In the words of Neville, you meet no one but yourself. So everything that you're experiencing or going to experience, you got to realize that you have to be the one who's going to be proactive and take charge of your life. This is where we come with the gospel of accountability. What are you going to be accountable for accomplishing next year? Let me say this also too, because a lot of people set New Year resolutions, but they forget about this one thing that's so powerful. And even I forgot about it, but I'm thinking about it now. What if you're going to set, if you're deciding to set a New Year resolution, something that you want to go from zero to hero, you have to set a deadline. You had to set a deadline when this will be accomplished, or are you going to go towards it? And I know a lot of people said, I don't set goals. I listened to some people this week, they don't set goals, they go with the flow. And other people to say, they do set deadlines, but you need to set a deadline on yourself that I'm going to accomplish this goal in this realistic time frame. It's amazing when I was in college and high school, when I knew I had a paper that was going to needed to be done, I buckled down in as they would say, in the ninth hour, so focused and completed that paper in record time. Everything looked good and everything was done. And I turned it in and I ended up getting a good grade. It was because I had a deadline on myself that I need to accomplish this in a certain time. If you're going in 2025, you need to set some realistic deadlines for yourself, financially, spiritually, mentally, health, physically, on what you're going to do. I had some deadlines that I set for this year, as far as with my YouTube and as far as with some personal things. When you set deadlines and you have something that you're striving for, you become focused. Many times what's stopping us from going from zero to hero is our inability to stay focused on the track that's in front of us. Let me say that again. Many times what's stopping us from moving forward in 2025 is we have not become focused on what we want to accomplish. But let me bring it back a little bit further. Many times we don't even know what we want. The problem is not that you don't know what you want. The problem is you have not come to grips and accepted what you really want out of life. Let me say that again. You have not come into grips or come into the knowledge that you have not decided what do you really want in 2025. What do you really want in 2025? The problem is now, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want, but what do you really want? Many times, what's stopping us is we have not embraced what we really desire and want for our lives in 2025. What's going on, Terrell? Let me read this right quick. Disappearing for 6 months is all I need to truly transform myself. The last 5 years have been painful. Now the next 5 years I will win. Congratulations. I'm taking that to the bank. But right now, what you're saying that now it's time to really today to really say, what do I really want out of life? The greatest fear that many of us have, and I'm talking in the mirror right now, is that we're afraid to go after what we really want out of life, what we really desire. Or we're afraid to even to say, you know what, this is what I want out of life. This is what I want to accomplish. And what happens is the old stories about who we were stops us from embracing what we really want out of life. As Terrell said, disappearing for 6 months is all I need to truly transform myself. The last 5 years have been painful. Now it's time. Now the next 5 will win. So I'm glad you said that. The last 5 years were actually, you were in the higher education, getting your degree called life. You were in what we call the school of life. When you change the story about the last 5 years and say, you know what, I was in a school that was teaching me some very good lessons. Now I'm ready to go into the next 5 years that were going to transform me into the man that I need to be. So we got to even change the story about how situations that were painful, that were disappointing, that were that took us under. We got to say, look, let me look at this again. That's a story. I need to say, let me look at this and say that I need to learn from this. I need to look at this and say, these are lessons that I learned. And the other side of it is, these are lessons that I can share with someone else so that they do not have to go through the next 5 years of their life like I did. So you guide someone else forward. That's why it's so important to go back and do an inventory over 2024 and say, what lessons did I learn? And let me say this, what lessons did I learn? And where did I really mess up at? Where did I really mess someone else over? Where did I not do the things I know I should have done? Matt Farron, five views here. What's going Cleveland Clinic? What's going on, Matt Farron? The reason why I say disappearing for 6 months is so important is because a man with no motivation is a man nobody suspect. If people don't know what you have planned, they can't plan and kill it. Correct. I like that. So I think it's very important that you do take those 6 months and disappear. Sometimes I think it's important that men do go hide. LP in the house. Go hide and retool themselves. When I worked at General Motors, we were shut down for about a month. They would pay us, thank God. But what they would do is they would retool the plant for the next product they were going to bring out. So sometimes men need to do that. They need to, like you're saying, they need to disappear. And I say, let me figure out what's going on in my life. Let me retool. So when you come out swinging. You come out ready to go to the next level. But many times we get distracted. by the shiny things and not realizing where we need to grow. But let me get back on point. Get back on point. What I'm saying here. So yes, I think it's important that you do disappear. Take that time, go into your cave. When you disappear, and this is what you're doing. Let me give a little clarity to it. When you're disappearing, you are actually focusing and you're clearing out all distractions in your life. Many times, what stop us from moving forward, say in 2025, or stop us in 2024, as we got caught up in distractions that were around us. And I can say I can admit it. There's been things that have distracted me from accomplishing the goals that I know that I need to accomplish. And when you disappear, or metaphorically disappear, or you figuratively disappear, or you literally disappear, what you're doing is you're cutting off all distractions so that you become laser focused, so that you accomplish what you know you should have accomplished, say 5 years ago, that you accomplish it in record time. That's why those who want to win in 2025 have a laser focus and going to eliminate all distractions. And let me say this: distractions, nothing can distract you that is not appeasing to you. Nothing can distract you that's first not appeasing or that you do not like. You cannot distract me right now with a pot full of chitlins, because I do not like chitlins at all. You cannot distract me with a pot full of, or with some eggs, because you know why? I do not like eggs. You can only distract me with something that I find appeasing or something that I like. When you're willing to face the things in your life that you know that are not serving your higher purpose, you need to cut them off. When you're willing to cut off the things that are distracting you and no longer allow them from stopping you from moving forward, you will accomplish things fast. So in 2025, the year of transformation and redefining your life, it all comes down to one thing. It's a decision that you need to make. Today, or even tomorrow and the next day, it is a decision that you make, but it's also a commitment that you make to yourself. The reason why so many people fail at New Year's resolutions, because they're making the commitment not to themselves, but to everyone else, so that they can impress everyone else. When you make the commitment to yourself in a New Year's resolution, what's going to happen is you're going to accomplish it even faster. The problem is we are afraid to commit to who we are. We're afraid to even embrace who we are. Leland Peterson in the house. Oh, Lord Jesus. So with that, let's move forward. The next thing for 2025, moving forward, we need to look at who needs to be in our lives and who needs to exit our lives. Let me say that again. 2024, we need to look at who needs to be in our lives and who needs to exit our lives. Certain people, certain environments do not serve our higher purpose and our higher goals. When you realize that, you move forward even faster. This is no slight against anyone, but you got to realize who's serving your higher good and are you serving their higher good? And sometimes you're going to have to cut right to the bone in order to get to the next level. Everyone cannot go to the next version of who you need to be. Everyone cannot go to the next level that you need to be and what you need to accomplish. Because some people will become jealous, or envious because it's not them. Or what they will do is they will begin to discourage you because you going to the next level shows their inadequacies, or it shows where they're not pushing themselves to be a better person. So you need to do it. And this is a day of doing an inventory of people in your life. Searches. You need to really search your. This is the time to really do a real inventory. I remember when I worked at Panera Bread, every Friday we had to do an inventory of a checklist of everything that was in there because we were getting ready for it to be. I need to do a checklist of all the items in the store. Then we compared it to the list that we have so that we can send an order in for the next truck to come in for the next week. Many times we don't know what we need or what we don't need or what we do need because we have not did an effective inventory of our lives. So it's important that you do an inventory of your lives. What's really serving you? What's really serving you and what's not serving you? And you have to do an inventory of your life. The next point I want to make is this. 2025 2025 will have 2025 will bring about some shifts and some changes in everyone's life. Let me say it that way. But we will see some things happen nationally, culturally, and in this world in this world stage is going to surprise everyone. So 2025 is going to be a really defining moment for a lot of people. And you're going to have to decide how you're going to allow life to define you or you're going to define life. So if you're ready to embrace 2025, this is the best time today to make that decision. So tonight before the clock strikes 12, which is my son's birthday, shout out to him, turns 22. You got to make a decision what are you really going to go after in 2025? The biggest enemy of 2025 is the biggest enemy that you will face in 2025 is the things that you were comfortable in 2024. The biggest enemy that you will face in 2025 are the things that you were comfortable in 2024. The biggest enemies that you will face are the things that you were comfortable in 2020 and 2024 that will stop you in 2025. Any man, like Terrell is saying, when he wants to go to the next level, what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to embrace being uncomfortable in your life. Growth does not happen in the easy chair. Growth does not happen by you just cruising through life. Growth does not happen from you just waltzing through life and everything is just roses. Growth happens through you being uncomfortable in your life. You being unsure what the next step is going to happen. You being able to step in faith and say, you know what, I need to do this. That's when real growth takes place. And many times, too many men, especially men, are too comfortable in their life and they lose the thrill of life, or they lose the ability to have the excitement in life because they're too comfortable with their lives. So growth, if you want to see growth, you're going to have to become uncomfortable with some things. You're going to one of the things you're going to be uncomfortable with is your ability to not know everything. That's going to be the biggest challenge for so many people in 2025. Is that they're going to have to be they're going to have to become uncomfortable that they do not know everything that's going on in life, and that they're going to have to relearn some things, retool themselves to move forward. So if you're comfortable in your life right now, everything is good, everything is fine. Life has a way to push you into being uncomfortable so that you grow. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you are dying. And most people are walking through life like zombies, and they're dying. They're the walking dead because they refuse to grow in their lives. They refuse to get uncomfortable in their lives. They refuse to have those difficult conversations that they've been holding up inside of them that they need to talk about. They refuse to deal with the things that are bothering them. They refuse to deal with their health issues. They refuse to go to the doctor. They refuse to deal with the reality that they're not at the same mental capacity that they were, say, 5 months ago. They refuse to get uncomfortable and face the things that they know ain't the same. That's where true growth happens. When you become uncomfortable with the unknown and uncomfortable when you have to tell your truth. Most people, and let me talk to men. Let me talk to the men first. The reality of it is, most men are afraid to speak their truth. And so they shy away, they shrink, and they water down what they need to say. And they never live their truth. And so they're expecting the world to give them something that they need to live their own truth. Some men need to speak up, and some men need to shut up. Some men who need to speak up and say what's on their mind, and some men need to shut up and not speak everything that's on their minds. But you need to live your truth. We have too many people who refuse to tell their truth. Let me get to this point. 2025 is you go from zero to hero transformation. As I said before, transformation does not happen without you willing to go from zero to hero. And what do I mean by that? Transformation doesn't happen until you change your identity. What I mean by change your identity, you change your story around yourself, and you change your self image, how you see yourself. It's not magical, but it is work. Because you've been doing this for the last 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, whatever, and you really need to change how you see yourself. When you change how you see yourself, it would affect how you move forward. Yesterday, someone called me, and I'm not going to give all the details, but it was quite interesting. Right before the end of the year, and I said, you need to have that conversation with your daughter. He haven't seen his daughter in years, but he knew he needed to have a conversation. And some of y'all, before y'all go into 2025, y'all need to have that difficult conversation with people that you've been putting on the back burner. You need to have that difficult conversation that you've been putting on the back burner and get things resolved inside of you. Even if it hurt, even if it's disappointing, even if they don't like it, it's going to bring healing to you, but it's going to bring healing to that other individual. Somebody who's listening needs to have that difficult conversation with somebody and get things resolved. Now, the person that they need to have a conversation with has already passed away. but they're still living with the regrets because they never had the conversation with the individual when they were alive. And they need to get that resolved inside of them. The person that they need to have a conversation with is no longer alive. So the best thing you can do is write a letter to that individual. Tell them exactly how you felt, what they did, how they did it, what it was it right, was it wrong, and resolve that inside of you. Biggest thing for transformation is your freedom. And many times what's holding us up is we have unresolved conversations that are going on in our minds that we have not resolved inside of us. So we get mad at this one, we get mad at that one, we mad at our wives, we mad at our kids, we mad at the dog, we're mad at the job, we upset because we have not resolved the unresolved. We have not resolved the conversations that needed to have happen inside of us. 2025 is going to be the year that you decide is going to be. You are the author and the finisher of your 2025, whether you like it or not. I see what you're saying. I'm 23, and the biggest fear I have is still being a virgin, but I know that semen retention is something I've struggled with for years now. I question if I should go for years into a kick it edition. Okay. So Terrell, that's a good let me put that back up there. Okay. You're around the age of you're right in the age between both of my sons. Let's digest it. And I'm glad you was transparent enough to share that. I'm gonna give you some, let me say that because that's real talk. But listen, you're 23, good. The biggest fear I had was still being a virgin, but I know that semen retention is something I've struggled with for the past 2 years. I question, should I go for years until I kick the addiction? So you're 23. Let's keep it 100. Your hormones are through the ceilings. Your testosterone is through the ceilings. I don't know if anybody's going to ever tell you this, but I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. All that energy that you have, testosterone flowing through your body, needs to be redirected. If you were to redirect that in a goal or something that you at school or even with something that you want to accomplish, you'll see that your life will go to another level. See, we look at that sexual energy as something bad. Let's get that. It's not bad at all. We all have sexual desires. We all have them. The problem is when you are, especially at 23, when you are allowing it to dictate your life, when you allowing it to tell you to go this way and go that way, when you have no sexual discipline. And at 23, there's no one teaching that. No one's telling you that. But you're saying my biggest fears I had was still being a virgin. So I'm taking that you still a virgin or you're not. But you got to redirect your mind now, because what you're doing is you're training your mind. You have been training your mind to get pleasure by yourself. So if you get pleasure with a woman, it's not going to be the same. So during the times when you want to do what you want to do, you need to redirect that towards something, either reading a book, some kind of activity. I'm not sure if you work out, but you need to redirect that. RJ, what's going on? Let's see what RJ, you're in your head, bro. Be glad you have testosterone flowing. Understand nature. The nature in you desires to express. The key is discipline. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's natural. See, 23, man, if I were to 23, 43, it is natural. But the key, like RJ said, is your ability to be what? Disciplined. How do you get disciplined? Every time that urge comes, because every man has it, is you redirect it to something else. One of the best things you can do, I don't know if you work out or not, is to work out. That increases testosterone, yes, but you need to direct it into an activity that's going to be productive. Because I'm going to just keep it 100. If you constantly with your hands, you ain't going to enjoy a woman. You're not going to be able to fully enjoy a woman when she's in front of you. We can pretend like this is the real deal. I'm just going to keep it 100. You're going to have to really face the facts that if you don't discipline get a hold of it, it will run you instead of you running it. And let me say that don't condemn that you have these desires. It is natural. We are in a society that condemns everything. It is natural. But with it being natural, you need to be disciplined. And where do you discipline it first? In your mind. The most powerful thing you have is your mind. When you discipline it in your mind, it would affect your behind. It'll affect your actions. So don't be mad. Don't you condemn yourself. Don't you beat yourself. Well, I can't say that because you didn't beat yourself down already. But anyway, you can't. Don't you do that. But what you need to do, what needs to happen is, don't condemn yourself. Forgive yourself and realize. And then two, many times men do that act because what they're really looking for is true intimacy. And if you really at this age and at that age, true intimacy, something even beyond sex. And that's something that most people ain't gonna talk about, but it's the truth. You're looking for fulfillment and you cannot find it. So, with the quickest way to get fulfillment is self-pleasure. But if you find something in your life that you can find fulfillment, you can redirect your energy, sexual energy, to it will change your life. If that's making sense to you, Terrell, let me know in the chat room. But most guys don't, they ain't gonna tell you that. Pimps say, I'm gonna tell you what the pimps say. Put your dick in your pocket. What they're saying is be disciplined. Because you allow that can control you, baby boy, you're gonna be doing all kind of crazy stuff, simping and paying and doing all kind of things because you're led by your lower nature. And I've seen a lot of men who have been led by their lower nature and everything they've seen, and it didn't profit them none. Let me see what you said. Most definitely, I work out, read, and meditate, and now just energy. Be aware of it and have it. Unconditional love over the self. The yogis call it. Yep. I'm glad you. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. And don't condemn yourself because of it. That's the worst thing. The thing of it is this. Now you got me opening up this part of it. The other side of it is a lot of men get caught up into the shame of it, and shame causes you to repeat it because you feel shameful about it. You feel shameful that I did this. I have these desires, and no, it is natural. You're a man, and women have desires too. It's natural. But what keeps us locked down is our shame around it. It's the shame. Let me take this off the screen. Yeah, the shame. Shame keeps you locked up, keeps you So this 2024, you need to let go of any shame that you have around anything that you do. I'm not saying that you doing something wrong. You need to admit you're doing wrong. But at the same time, what have been the biggest things that stop a lot of men, a lot of people, is the shame that they have around their life. The moment you let go of the coat of shame, you'll be free as a man. You won't repeat some of the things that you're doing. Now, let me be one, we'll keep it 100%. Do I have some things that I'm shameful for? Yes. Did I did some things I shouldn't have did? Yes. Have I said some things? Yes. Have I gone? Yes, I did all of it. I'm not going to be up here like I'm the big YouTuber guy up here. I never did anything. I'm just a superhero. I come as no. At 52, 53 years old, I'm did some things that I'm ashamed about. But the biggest thing that I had to do is let go of the shame and actually say, I forgive you, LDA. That's what you really do. You want real freedom in 2020, 2025 transformation? Can you be big enough to forgive yourself? Can you really let go of the shame that we have around ourselves? As they said, the biggest enemy is not on the outside, but it's on the inside of you. That's the real game. But I'm glad you said something about that, Terrell, because you're transparent enough to say, hey, this is where I'm at. But don't allow shame to lock you up in 2025. You said you're working out. You said you're moving forward. Now you see. I also seen pimps and how they use the game as a great area of self-discipline, along with healthy sense of with a healthy sense of manipulation. Right. So the biggest thing right there. If we were to look at the PIs, the pimps, so we would, one of the things, the greatest thing they had to do was discipline themselves. One of the biggest things they had to do is discipline their sexual desires and their emotions. You can't be a pimp and I'm not advocating anybody being a pimp. I'm not advocating I'm not advocating no man putting a woman on a track. So let me say that very clearly. So nobody get it twisted like, oh, LDA talking about that pimp stuff. No. What I am saying is you can learn something without being like them. One of the biggest things they do is their self-discipline and their emotions are in check. They ain't getting all emotional. It's funny, some of the toughest guys in the street be the most emotional guys. Some of the toughest guys you be seeing in the streets be some of the tough guys, I could do this and this and that, have no sexual discipline. So yeah, self-discipline and your emotions in check. And like I've said many times, many men fail. They don't realize that they got their emotional blueprint from their mothers and not from their fathers. So you're just as emotional as your mother, and you get upset just like your mother, and you don't deal with your emotions like a man. Am I saying men don't have emotions? I do. Men do have emotions. Men, we need to express that, yeah, in a healthy environment. But you should not be expressing the same way as a woman. I don't know why people don't get that and get upset when I say it, but it's the truth. Because if you expressing yourself just like a woman, she cannot be the woman, and then she's gonna turn into the man. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. And I know that's gonna stir ruffle some people's feathers, but it is what it is. A lot of men have got their emotional blueprint from their mothers, and they operate emotionally like their mother and not like their fathers, or like a man who is disciplined. Man, that's real talk. I've seen real street dudes get muffed in the face by their what? Yeah. These Jews are tough, rough and tough, and they're fighting all like that, but they're emotional. And let me say this: it takes discipline it takes mental discipline to pull your emotions into check. Certain reason why we're seeing the uptick in a lot of guys ready to fight at the drop of the hat and want to pull out a gun is if you look at it, if you were to do an examination and trace it back, you'll see that they were led by their emotions. A man is going to say, wait a minute, will this action, what does this action lead? What action does this action lead to what consequence? And am I willing to pay for it? That's what a man does. He's like, oh, let me think about before I do this. Let me reason quickly and make an educated and a decision that's going to be beneficial for me before he acts or before he says something. But normally what we see is a lot of dudes who are led by their emotions. I've said this many times. Anyone who makes you angry controls you. Because anytime they get you angry and push your buttons, they got you. They can push it anytime. I don't know how this led to this conversation, but we here. Anyone who can make you angry, get you this upset, controls you. And I've seen it so many times. Exactly. I'm from the hood, and I've seen a lot of my family members trap themselves due to their mom's emotions and girls. Correct. Right there. Right there. That's why healthy spaces like this, where men learn how to pull their emotions in and say, let me rein them in. So this is how let me think before I act. And one of the biggest places that we need to pull our emotions in is in our sexual desires and how we respond. Do we think first? It would save you you 23, it would save you so much. And it's interesting, some things I've shared, the same thing I share with my sons who are one turning 22, the other one's turning 24. It's what? Think first, not emotional response. Your emotional response can lead you to 20 years to life. Because they have not pulled. Now let me be very clear, and not to pull myself down. I did some things that I was emotionally triggered by. I've said some things, I've been there. That's why I can talk about it from a real place, not a pretend place. I've been undisciplined sexually. Yes, I have. Let's be very clear. I don't know why people try to pretend like they holier than thou. But when a man does, he becomes a magnet to good things in his life. Actually, what happens is, let me keep it 100%. When your emotions are in check and you're sexually disciplined, you become very attracted to a woman. You become attractive to life. People can trust you because they know you're not going to fly off the handle. Life begins to reward you because you have taken the time to discipline the things, the most important things that men get trapped at is with their sexual desires and their emotions. When they do that, when they discipline those areas, life begins to open up even more to them. We can see that now with the course of things happening with someone that's a rapper that's in jail right now. When sexual desires are running rapid and you just do whatever you want and you have no discipline and no order and no emotional boundaries, what happens? It leads to things you don't want to go. Like I said, my hands are up. I'm guilty. I've been there. But now I'm no longer guilty. I'm disciplined. So for 2026, I'm in 2025, you got to decide that you're not going to be emotionally driven and that you're not going to allow your sexual desires to run your life. Let me say it this way. Boy, y'all, I'm going to say it this way. I talked to one of my friends and he told me to retain my sexual energy until I was 26 because the addiction is the sight. It's the sight of being a 9-year struggle. Okay. If that's going to work for you, do it. But in that time, you should be accomplishing something in that time span. You should be going towards something in that time span. Don't just do it just to do it. Do it for a reason. Have a goal in mind. I'm doing it. I'm gonna wait to 26. Cool. That's 3 years. Bum, 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 bum. Let me in this time, these 3 years, I'm gonna accomplish something. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna solve this problem. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be transformed. As I'm not gonna be the same man I was at 23 as as I was. I'm not gonna be the same man at 26 that I was at 23. There should be a reason why you're doing it. If your why is not big enough, you go back to doing your old things. If your why is not big enough, you will go back into your old ways. Let me say that for those in the back of the room, those jumping in and out. If your why is not big enough, you're going to go back and do the same things that you're doing. So in 2024, going to 2025, you need to have such a big why that it almost scares you. If your why is not big enough, you'll go back into your old habits. You do the same things you were doing. You'll be around the same people. You eat the same foods. You won't go to the gym because your why is not big enough. Until your why becomes big enough that it scares you, oh, you're ready for 2025. Until your why becomes so big. The reason why some people don't accomplish great things, they have not found a big enough why that will actually grab them. What let me ask this question. What is your biggest why and for your 2025? Not your New Year's resolutions, but what will be your biggest why in 2025? Why you do something. Until your why becomes big, you're going to settle and be in mediocrity, and you're going to be settled and being mediocre because your why has not become big enough. That's where you win in 2025. That's where you get transformation when you have a big enough why. I've watched. I give this is a sort of this is an example. I've watched parents stay a while, stay knowing that they're sick and they're in the process of passing on, but they won't pass on until they know that their children are okay because they have a big enough why to stay. What's going on, bro? What's going on? What is your what would be your why in 2025? Like I said, I know I've seen parents who stick around to the last minute because they had a strong enough why. I got to be here for my parents, be here for my kids. I've seen other people who accomplished crazy things because they had a big enough why. I want you to search today, tomorrow, and the next day. Forget it's a new year, and find out what your big why is. What is your big why? Why are you doing the things you're doing? Are you doing it to be accepted, or is it because it's deep down inside of you? It has to be so much bigger than you that it almost scares you. And once your why gets to that place, the how begins to take care of it. When you get a big enough why inside of you. Superman had a why to why he did the things he did. Spider-Man had a why. Even the villains have a why. The Joker, which is one of my favorite villains next to Darth Vader, had a why. Between Darth Vader and the Joker, one of my two villains I love, is because they had a great enough why to defeat for Joker's defeat Batman. For Darth Vader, he wanted to take over. He had a big enough why because he wanted to take over the whole galaxy and do all that. He had a big enough why. Until you uncover the why for something, you're going to settle for crumbs. Why do you want a girlfriend? Why do you want to accomplish these things? Once your why is in place, then the habits stack. You see it from the end and go backwards. Shout out to you, Nikki B. You got to have a big enough why. If your why is tied up to pleasing others, because everybody think you should do that, you already lost in the game. You got to have a big enough why in place. Then everything begins to move forward in your life. The biggest why, I'm gonna tell you the biggest why for why I do this thinking class is because my big why is I want to see men who have a productive and well-rounded life spiritually and mentally and with the game. That is the reason why I do this. I want to see young men, old men. I know my demographics and who mostly listen to me, but I want to see men live their best lives. Then for the women who listen to it, I want them to hear from men and see men interact and say they are good men out here. And I want them to listen and participate and say, you know what? We can make a community. We can do this together. I have a big enough why. I want to see men win. I want to see women win. Not just any men, not just any woman, but I want to see a particular group of people win. My why is so big. When I realized when my why got so strong in me, it got so passionate, it got so deep in me that maybe one time I even cried about it because I wanted to see people win. I wanted them to see them dressed like it's completely. I want them to dress it to the nines. And I want them, my big why is also too, I wanted to be an example that's not perfect. And I'm gonna give the definition of perfect. It's not perfect of what a man is supposed to be. That's one of my whys. So when I say perfect, and I don't mean when I mean perfect, I mean not someone who has no flaws, but I've seen someone who is mature. I mean perfect in the definition of someone that's mature. Because we need that. We need to see that. As in the words of late Kevin Samuels, we need to control the image of men inside of the media. I want to be that big enough why. Listen, if your why doesn't make you cry, that's not it. Keep asking why. I like that right there. I like that right there. I like that right there. If your why doesn't make you cry, that's not it. Keep asking why. Somebody, y'all need to get that right there. Your why has to be so big that it shakes you. When I have men come to me behind the scenes for the coaching and consultation from around the world, ALDA, man, I'm walking through this, I'm going through that. That right there fulfills my why. Is if I can help one man or one woman become a better version of themselves, oh, I did it. That they become, that they see, and that they see that what they've been, that they see that what they have been shown has not been working and things begin to work out for them, or I accomplish my why. That's why I call it translated, it moved in from the thinking class. So I want people to think. I want to provoke you to get out of your lower thinking and get into a higher way of thinking. The reason why, because I believe that is so important. That's why I do this. I have a heart to see people become the best version of who they can be. Is it always easy? No, because then I got to look in the mirror and say, I got to become that. My why is so strong inside of me. Some of y'all need to go today and get a big why. Stop asking how How I'm gonna get the money? How I'm gonna get the girl? How I'm gonna get this? How this gonna work out? Get the how out the way and get the why and get go begin to go sleep with the why. The why will carry you through the dark times and the good times. The why will push you where you don't want to be pushed. The why will make you do things you wouldn't normally do. The why will make you cut off or bring people in your life. When you have a big enough why, it will transform you. If it doesn't make you cry, if it doesn't shake you to the core, you got the wrong why. I think even in my current job, my why is because I don't want to see people people ask, why do I love going to the job I go to? Because I appreciate it. It's because I want to make sure I give quality service and I want to make sure people are comfortable when they go to the hospital. Let me see what ask ask seven whys, and most time you'll find it there. So you ask yourself 7 times why. What is your biggest why? Some of y'all think y'all want to be millionaire, but you don't have a big enough why for it to be a millionaire. Some of y'all think y'all want a girlfriend, but you don't have a big enough why for it. Some of y'all want a brand new car, but you don't have a big enough why for a brand new car. Some of y'all want a bigger space or a smaller place or whatever. You don't have a big enough why to get you there. When you tap into your why, it will change your life. When you tap into your why for 2025, you really need to embrace, need to grab hold of this. When you tap into your why you want to do this, accomplish this, it will change your life. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, put why in the chat room. I'll be the first one to do it. Put why. I got it. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, your why has to become so big that it shakes you to the core. Your why has to become so ridiculously big. Because I'm thinking about something even now, something that's personal. I know I need a bigger space, but why do I need a bigger space? Why do I need more room for this? Until it's crystal clear of the why inside of me, guess what happens? The new place can never show up. But the moment I from where I was before to where I am now is because I got a strong why. Like, no, I can't live like this. It was so strong because I'm not gonna live with Mickey Mouse and I'm not living with no Brown Brothers. I'm not doing that. My why became strong. My focus became super strong. I said, oh, I can't live like this. See how strong my why is? And I began to immediately move and find somewhere. When I had to get another bed, I said, I can't sleep on the floor anymore. My why became real strong. I said, you know what? I can't do this. I think one day I had a little car. I got a whole bed, queen size bed, and put it on my little. I had a Kia Forte at the time. I got that Kia Forte, put the mattress on there, put all the pieces in that Kia Forte that had one arm on top of the mattress and the other arm driving. Because my why was so strong. Because I said, I am not sleeping on the floor anymore. I ain't sleeping on no air mattresses, and they just go out, they air go out of them. No, my why became real strong. Well, my one car got totaled, I said, I am not catching the bus and Ubering around. My why became real strong. I remember the day I said, I went on a Friday. I said, I'm getting a car today. I have no money. You hear me? No money. But I had something else. I had no money. I went there to the dealership. No, I got an Uber. I said, hey, can you take me to the auto mile? He said, hey, man, where you want to go in the auto mile? I don't know. Just drop me off. I said, I got a buddy that works at the Kia. I said, man, I don't know about Kia. He said, why don't you go in there and talk to them? Now, this the Uber driver talked to me. But before that, that whole morning, my why was strong. My intention was strong. And I said, all right. I went to the Kia and I knew somebody from high school. We shook hands, we dapped it up. What's up, bro? He said, talk to this guy because I'm sort of new here. Boom, they're gonna work a deal with you. I left that day with a brand new car. Do you hear me? A brand new car. So my why became so strong. I got to get this. I'm no longer catching a bus and Ubering around and all. No, my why became strong. When I needed to transition from that car to the next car, that was cool. It's when my why became strong enough. The next part when I wanted to transform from a Kia Seltos. Now that's nice. It was brand new. They just came out. I was driving in it, boom, 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 black on black. I thought I was doing, I was doing it. But my why got tested when I needed to go into a Genesis. I'm thinking like, ooh, that's nice. I can't afford that. I don't know how I'm gonna afford that with my bills and all. I started reasoning. Then I was challenged. You really want, if your wife's that strong, sell your Kia Seltos. So I sold it and got 3,000 back. I ended up taking that within a week. I went from a Kia Seltos. On Wednesday, I sold the car, got the money on Thursday. Friday, I was still vacillating, going back and forth. What's going on, American Brazilian? My dude down in Brazil. I was going back and forth on what I should do. Should I do this deal or not? And I got scared a little bit, but my why was like, I like that Genesis. I flew out of Cleveland on Saturday morning. 2 hours later, I was dropped down in Fort Lauderdale, caught an Uber down to the dealership. By 5 o'clock, I was driving a brand new Genesis right off the lot because my why got so strong inside of me that I had to do it. It compelled me. Until you get in big enough why, you will stay the same, stay in the same way, or you are just going to die off. Just plain and simple. My why became strong. Same thing when it needed to transition from that Genesis to the next. My why became strong, and I'm like, no, I like this car. Okay, it's good. It made me I look cool in it. But the moment I said this, no, I want the GV70. I want the truck version. Once again, I had no money. That. I worked the deal because my why got big enough. The reason why I'm saying that, I'm telling you how I did it. And I'm saying if you have a big enough why, it will push you to the next level. Some of you, the reason why you're not eating or doing the things you're doing or accomplishing or experience the things you need in life because you don't have a big enough why. I told you the big enough why to get to where I'm at now. When I seen Mickey Mouse, if y'all don't know what Mickey Mouse is, it's a rat. When I seen Mickey Mouse on the stove trying to cook when I was cooking, I said, I'm out. My why became strong. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? My why became, I like, oh, no, dog, I ain't gonna be able to do it. He wanted to cook cornbread when I was cooking cornbread, and he wanted to eat. No, somebody got to go, and it was me. Me and Mickey could not be in the same place. And I let the landlord know, hey man, Mickey's trying to cook when I'm cooking. No, he can't cook when I'm cooking. Oh, we gonna take care of it, brother. I'm gonna take care of it. I remember I walked to work. I said, nope, I'm not eating with Mickey Mouse. We are not sharing the stove together. Not gonna do it. My why became very clear then why I need to leave. It's at those points. I ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna be able to. It's at those points when your why becomes strong enough, baby, you will figure things out. Your mathematical skills kicked in. Like, oh man, I got to do something. But yeah, Mickey Mouse was trying to eat with us. And I said, no, I ain't gonna be able to do. Me and Mickey, we ain't gonna be able to cut it. And what happened was, I seen an apartment I said, I'm going to move there. This is what I said. I'm going to move there. I called the number. The guy didn't answer. He had a one flip phones. Older guy had a flip phone. Hello? Yeah. I said, I'm trying to look at the apartment. Where you at? I said, I'm trying to look at the apartment now. What you doing? I said, sir, I want to look at the apartment you got available. I don't know if we got any available. Call back in a week. I'm like, oh, I got to still live with Mickey Mouse. I'll call him back in a week. Hey, sir, this is Mr. Adams. Hey, you got the apartment. Well, you can come look. We got a couple you can look at. Somebody just moved out. So I looked at one apartment. I said, yeah, hello. So we went to look at the apartment. Like, I don't know, I don't like that one. So we went to go look at another one. I said, I'll take the first one. It's at that moment that me and Mickey could not be friends. That I said, I made my decision to say, I'm gonna move into this apartment. Guess what? It's when you get a big enough why that it will affect your actions and do what you need to do. Some of y'all don't have a big enough why. That's why you're gonna be like, I'm just gonna be comfortable this year. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be with this person. No. Get a big, hairy, scare you. Why? Y'all need to get a big enough why. Yeah. My why got so big. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is my real life. I ain't up here fronting and playing around. When I was in a particular job and I was out there, I think I was working for the water department. I said, oh man, I ain't gonna be able to do this. And the job drew up, I said, oh, I need to do something. Oh, I keep it 100. When I was going back and forth on the health line, I said, oh no, not me. I'm not this G. I got to figure out a way to get some funds legally. I ain't about to go. Jail does not have my name on it. My why became strong. Doors begin to open up when my why became crystal clear. Some of y'all don't have a big enough why. That's why you're living the life you're living. But yeah, I'm just keeping it 100, 100,000% 100. Your why, you're too comfortable where you at, too comfortable what's going on. Your why has to you got to turn your why up. Y'all got it on 1. You need to be on 10. And the reason why I'm hammering this home, I want you to really get this because it's so important. I remember, God bless them, I was working for somebody and they was paying me pennies. I don't want to say pennies, $20 here, $20 there. And I was doing all kind of contract work, catching the bus, eating pork and beans and living on the back porch. And I'm like, man, this is not my life. It's when my why began to say, no, I'm not living like that. I'm not living like that. Let me get it another way. Some of y'all in relationships and your why hasn't become strong enough. Y'all tolerating too much sugar, honey, iced tea. Your why hasn't become strong enough. And you selling for less when you should be having the best. Your why has not become strong enough. You gotta have a strong enough why. If anything, I probably need to cut this video and cut it right there and say, have you really embraced your why? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Or are you just doing it? My motivation was Mickey Mouse. That was my motivation. And I'm not living with no roaches. I'm not going to do it. And the interesting thing is this. Let me say this too. Now, I know it sounds funny, but even where I'm at now, Mickey Mouse tried to show it up. I said, Mickey, you're not allowed at my house. You got to go. We took care of that immediately. I do not play that. When you have standards and you have a strong enough why, you eliminate a lot of things in your lives. When you have a high enough standard for yourself that you live by, you eliminate a lot of things in your life. Boom. Selling for less when you should be having the best. Yeah. When you have a high enough standard, you eliminate a lot of things in your life. My tolerance level changed between Mickey and the cornbread because we ain't gonna share cornbread, plain and simple. So some people look and say, "Well, you're a neat feet." You're like, and then two, my wives, I gotta mix. You my strong enough. Why people say, "Why you dress the way you do? Why you wear it for do my?" Because I gotta look my best. Get the likes up and subscribe when you come in. Thank you, Unique, my dude, all the way from London. Yeah, you gotta have a strong enough why, and it can't be somebody else's why. Happy New Year's to you, bro. Day one. Appreciate you. Got to have a strong enough why. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, you got to have a strong enough why in order for you to move forward. I know I don't want to sound like forget if I'm sounding like a broken record. Forget that. It is what it is. Have enough. Yeah. Let's make two. Thank you. Unique. Come in. All right. What coming in? Let's make 2025 bigger than 2020. That's a big enough why. That's a big enough why right there. Let's make 2025 bigger than 2024. Let me do this. I ain't did this in a while. Let me put the link in here. You want to chime in? If you act crazy, you know what I'm gonna do to you. You're gonna be exited stage left. There's the link if you want to come up. But yeah, man, get a big enough why. I'm telling you, when I was in Atlanta, same thing. I said, man, I'm not about to be living like this. My why became strong and clear. I'm going to move here. I'm going to live here. You got to have a strong enough why. There's a link if you want to come up, explain what your not your New Year's resolution is, but what your big why is going to be. Which going to be your big hairy why for 2024, 25. There's a link if you want to come up, pop up. Don't talk crazy. You do that kind of stuff, I'm gonna get you. I will find you. But you got to have a big enough why. Why are you doing this? Because when it gets dark and when things don't go your way, it is your why that becomes the searchlight in the darkest times. It is your why that carries you through the storm. It is your why that pushes you to the next level. When you have enough why, when your why it drives you, that's when things begin to change for you. Get a big enough why. Like I said, when I transit between the two cars, man, you have no clue. I was scared. But now, like they say, look at me now. You gotta have a big enough why. If you want to come up right quick, I gotta go because I need to go to the store and get something for tonight. Tonight. But you gotta have a big enough why. I'm telling you. You want to come up and share something right quick? On not your New Year's resolutions. Yo, this is gonna be my big why for 2025 for transformation. This is where I'm going. Don't worry if it works, if it don't work. Don't worry about the how. Just know, like what did Unique say? Let's make 2025 bigger than 2024. I kid you not. Your life will thank you when you do this. Get a big enough why. Yeah, I kid you not. Man, I got so many. I got stories for days on how I had a big enough why when situations went left. When I mean left, it went left to the curve. I had to have a big enough why to say I'm bigger than this. I'm more powerful than this, and I will not stay the same. I will accomplish great things. I will make a dent in the earth. People will know my name. My name will not just be around for this generation, but for generations to come. They will go back and look at my YouTube channel and say, oh, who is this LDA? Where did he come from? Where was he educated from? Who was his mama? Who was his daddy? Where did he learn these things? Why did he mix the game with spirituality and spirituality with the game? Because my big enough why. That's where you need to be at. If this is y'all picking up what I'm putting down, let me know in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. Let me know this. You're like, yo, LDA, I want to push the gas on this on having a big why. I want to push the gas on this. You got to have a big enough why. Even I thought about, let me say this, I can say this, even how I decorated my place. I had to realize I didn't want my place to look like I wanted my place to look like, I wanted the place that I come home to every day to feel comfortable and to feel cozy and welcoming. So when you come into my place, you should be able to take your shoes off, put your coat up, and relax. Why? That is my why. I want to make sure I have a nice carpet. I want to make sure everything is clean and neat. Why? Because I had a big enough why. You need to have a big enough why. Some of y'all need to change your whys. Some of y'all need to change your whys. But then when people come over, my special guest, Miss Dakota Baby, come over, I want to go to Uncle's house. Why? Because it's a place that's clean, smell good, got snacks for her. She can get on the studio. She can watch TV and cartoons because I created a place from my why. When my girlfriend comes over, she can relax. She ain't worry about no roaches getting in her clothes. She ain't worry about is things not clean. Why? Is she comfortable? Is she safe? Why? Because it's the big enough why in place. That's when you know. And that's what's so important. Like right now, I'm in a place now, like, you know what? I need to expand. But why do I need to expand? I know I need more room. I know I need to move. I know I need certain space for certain things. Dedicated. Like every place needs a home. I need a bigger place. It's because I had to get that why. It's not based on the economy. It's not based on how much I make and when I don't make. It's not based on what I get on YouTube and when I don't get on YouTube. But the why has to become strong enough. So with that being said, I'm not going to go any further, as they say, labor longer with this. But I will say this: 2025, you want the year of transformation, redefining your life. Get a big enough why. Not somebody else's why, not some caked up in somebody else's kitchen. Get your own big enough why. As Nikki B said, you need to ask yourself 7 times why, 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 why. Thank you, AAJ. Thank you. I appreciate that. You have the big enough why. You need to get a big enough why for 2025. When you have a big enough why, watch what happens in 6 months from now. You will not be the same person you were January 1st, 2025, when you get a big enough why. When you look at any famous musician, artist, their passion was to get their music out. And their why became so strong that they became disciplined that they became focused, that they begin to learn why, because their why became so strong. When I look at any artist, I don't care what type of music you listen to, it's when they got a why, I got to get my music out. I got to get this book out. I got to get this poetry out. I got to be a level. It's because the why became so strong. Many people, and I need to say this, and those who are listening, I'm going to close it up. I'm at almost at an hour, 30 minutes. Many people have silenced the why inside of them. Let me say that again. Many people have silenced the why inside of them with distractions, with with drinking, drugs, whatever, sex, whatever the case, and you silence the why that's inside of you. And I'm here to say someone's knocking at your door, and it's your why. Will you take the time to listen to the why that's inside of you? Will you open the door to possibilities that are inside of you when you tap into your why? Someone who's listening right now have silenced the why inside of them, and they are miserable. They are disgruntled. They are dissatisfied with their lives. It's because they have silenced the why that's inside of them. May I offer you today on December 31st, will you open the door to the next level or transformation from hero to zero to your why? I challenge you. I dare you. Men grow through challenge. So I dare you. I challenge you to get quiet and to listen to the why that's inside of you today. I know some people are going to be celebrating, they're going to be watching the ball drop and all like that, but I dare you to get quiet and really embrace the why. Well, LDA, well, how do I embrace the why? What do I need to do? Easy. Ask yourself, ask the God within you, what is my why? And I'll say this, your why is normally around two things. I'm giving so much today, but it is what it is. Your why is normally what irritates you and what you're here to solve. Your why is normally it's around what's going on, Kim? Your why is normally around what irritates you and what you're here to solve. Some of y'all, your why is speaking so loud you don't even hear it. Say, I don't know why this. I'll give you an example. I don't know why I can't stand people who don't. I don't like people who don't have good, who don't wear their clothes right, who don't match. That's part of my why. You know, some people who can't stand for people. I can't understand why people don't do their hair right. That's part of your why. If it's irritating you and bothering you, it's tied to your why. You're here to solve a problem. Your why is normally around something that irritates you and something that you're here to solve. Your why is normally around what irritates you and what you're here to solve. Well, I don't know what that is, LDA. I just don't know. Normally, what I give you the example about Mickey Mouse. He was irritating me trying to eat my cornbread on the stove. And guess what happened? It irritated me, and I needed to solve the problem. Get out of that house and get somewhere that didn't have rats. See how that worked? My why became crystal clear in that example in my life. Your whys normally is something that irritates you. Irritation is God's way of pushing you into your why. If you want to come up, there's the link right there. Let me see what time it is while I'm keep talking. Yeah, I got a couple more minutes. If you want to come up, you can, there's the link if you want to come up. But your why is normally around something that you need to solve and something that irritates you. It just irritate it. Ooh, I can't stand it. Like I can't stand when people wear the wrong colors and I can't or don't dress correctly or wear the wrong shoes and the wrong belt and I irritates me. I can't do it. And they think they're sharper than attack and they don't realize that they ain't even it irritates me. So that's something that's a problem that can be solved. That's part of my why. Your why is normally around something that irritates you and something you're designed to solve. Kim Evans sees for women entrepreneurs. Her why is so strong. She wants to see women win in entrepreneurship. She has a whole program. Shout out to Kim Evans. Her why is strong, so it keeps her focused. Other people have why they can't stand people's skin to look all messed up. So their why is makeup or skincare. Your why, something that irritates you. Something that you're here to solve. If you're picking up if you really understand what I'm saying, put a number 2 in the chat room. Put a number 2. I'm going to be the first one to put a number. But really picking up what I'm saying, put a number 2 in the chat room. You really get what I'm saying. That's where your why is. Your why is located right around there. Irritate you, and you're here to solve. You'll find your why. Some of y'all are not irritated enough because you keep drowning your irritation. You keep drowning what's irritating you, what's bothering you. And so you never find your true why. Someone is drowning their irritation, what's bothering them, because they don't want to feel it. They don't want to embrace it. When you embrace it, your why is on the other side of it. Your why is on the other side of that. What's irritating you, bothering you, it's on the other side of that. That being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. Happy New Year's to you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening, rocking with me, listening to me, getting some info. Appreciate it. Next year is going to be grand and even better. It's going to be on another level because I got something that's irritating me and I have to solve the problem. I have a big enough why for next year. So with that being said, thank you for listening. I did put the link if you wanted to come up. Don't be the last minute Susie. You want to come up and say something. You want to come up, you're welcome to say something. For next year. Somebody get ready. I gotta go. Joe, my dude. Shout out to day ones. My dude. Shout out to you, bro. Where am I? Sounds. Come on, sounds. No, the sounds don't want to work. Come on. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, man. I'm a happy New Year. Happy New Year's to you, Kim. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Shout out to Kim. We worked together. We did. If you look on when you go to my page, if you look at my opening video, is Kim and I doing a video together where she asked some great questions on fatherhood. Great question. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Joe Blas. Day one. He's even booked a consultation. Shout out to him. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. 2024 has been one hell of a ride. But baby, we made it. We about to enter into from zero to hero in 2025. We're going from transformation. So happy New Year's to everyone. I did put the link. If you want to come up real quick, I'm going to put the timer on now. If you want to come up real quick, let me know before I end the stream. Let me know if you want to come up real quick before you want to say something. I want to say something, LDA, before the year ends. Let me know. I did put the link up in the chat room. Happy New Year's to everybody. You want to say something? You want to say something? I gotta say this before the end of the year. Oh, you're welcome to come up. Talking crazy. I'm gonna mute you. So you definitely evolve 2025. Thank you, AAJ. Good to see you too. Thank you. You said evolve 2025. I like that. It's gonna be an amazing year. The year is only what you created to be. The year is only what you decided and what you created to be. You are the one who writes the script for your 2025. You decide how much you're going to make. You decide where you're going to go and what you're going to do. But I will say, enjoy the ride, baby. Enjoy the ride. Okay, nobody's coming up. LDA. Oh, wrong one. Nobody's coming up. I got to play this one. All right, too many crap. Okay, baby crying. LD, I want to thank you for the encouragement, inspiration 2024. I'm looking forward to 2025. True challenge proof. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that so much. I don't know why this one ain't working, but yeah, I appreciate that so much. That means a lot. That means a lot. People don't know what goes on behind the scenes and life to be happening to me behind the scenes before I even get on the camera or even start the mic up. People don't understand. Disappointments, good times, bad times. I appreciate. Thank you. I want to thank you for the encouragement and inspiration. That means a lot to me. That means a lot. I wish I can get online. I need to make you mod you up for 2025. I appreciate you. And Joe Blast, you're still in the chat room. If you're still in the chat room, Joe Blast, I definitely I want you to teach a class on the thing. I want you to teach a class. Kim, who else is in here to teach a class next year? I want us to have like a virtual event, and I want definitely Joe Blast. You've been here a long time, bro. You got a cam up. We're gonna do a Zoom call, but I want you to teach a class on what you know. You got a lot of info in you. You got a lot you need to share. I'm pulling your card for 2025. Joe Blast, if you hear you in the wings, you probably lifting weights. I want to pull your card for next year. You need to teach next year. I want you to come onto the platform and I want you to share for 30 minutes what you know in your own way. Definitely. Kim, we got to do a virtual event. Let's do that. I think it's time to do a virtual. We need to pull the people up that've been listening and participating, and I need you to start teaching. So yeah, so Kim, yeah, we got to do a virtual event next year. Got to do it. We got to do it. So Joe Blast, where you at, bro? I need you. I might have reached out to you behind the scenes, but I definitely want you to. I want you to definitely participate. I want you to teach a class. Some other people. If anybody can get in touch with Fierce Soul, he needs to teach a class. Jonathan, he needs to teach it. Come in here and teach a class. I need you guys. Who else? Somebody else too. I got a list of people that I want you guys to come up. I want to do a virtual event. I'll give you subject matter. And I want y'all to teach a virtual event, and we're going to talk on that. 2025. There's no need to do this show and we don't have people participating and come up and share what they learned, where they at. You can't listen and you can't just digest this and hear it and not do something with it. True challenge proof. You got to step up to. I'm gonna have you come and teach a class too. 30 minutes. Get you going. Get your subject matter going. Talk. We're gonna talk. We'll have a virtual event. This in real time right now, and I want to do that. With that being said, let me get ready to go. I don't know where Joe Blast went, but bro, you're on my hit list for 2025 to teach a class. Can be on fitness because you can be on whatever it is within a certain framework. We're going to teach that class, a virtual event. With that being said, happy New Year's to everyone. I'm here, bro. All right. Blast, you teach the class next year. Absolutely take a poll of some topics your viewers want. Correct. That's what we're definitely going to do. Joe Blast, guys, he got so much in him, man. Here's so I know he probably out there. He could teach a class. That being said, happy New Year's to everyone. 2025. Let's do this. Let's make some waves. Get a big enough why. Yeah, it's time. Yeah. Let's get this man got so much in him. I see it. As they would say, I see your future and it looks bright. Happy New Year's, everyone. With that being said, I'm out. A long time today. What's going on with me? They gonna ding it anyway, so we might as well.
Tell me what you want, babe. Tell me what you got, babe. Tell me what you want, babe. Tell me what you got, babe. Tell me what you want, babe. And you'll get it. Tell me what you got, babe. Don't forget it. Tell me what you want, babe. And you'll get it. Tell me what you got, babe. Don't forget it. Tell me what you want, babe. And you'll get it. Look at what you got, man. Don't forget it. Cause I can give you what you need. I'll be your fantasy. I got you. Tell me what you want, babe. Then come get it. Tell me what you want, babe. You'll get it. Man, don't forget it. Babe, and you'll get it. Man, don't forget it. Babe, and you'll get it. Man, don't forget it. Babe, you'll get it. Man, don't forget it. Babe, man, babe, man.